You know, some people out there, when they talk, they fake the funk. You want brutally honest? Well, if you are brutally honest, look no further than CG Ruthless Sports.
CG Ruthless.
CG Ruthless Sports.
CG Ruthless.
If you want your sports talk to be brutally honest, come check out CG.
CG Ruthless.
If you're not watching CG Ruthless, I don't know what to tell you. Representing the Niner Empire.
CG Ruthless.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the AZ Sports Fan. Unfortunately, he's on audio for right now, so tell everybody where they can find you at, bro.
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you can find me basically AZ Sports Fan on a lot of different things. You can go on Twitter, find me on there, as well as on Instagram, and then on YouTube. Pretty much do exactly what you do, but for my Arizona Cardinals. I've been born and raised here in Arizona, so got to be repping them.
Yeah, man. So we're getting to that preview because I know Tuesday we were having that little debate during that week. So
yeah,
kind of an interesting game.
It is, man, and especially since we're mid-season right now, so we're dealing through some injuries. Obviously, COVID is happening around the world right now, so that's still being affected not only like the NFL, but like on your normal day-to-day life. So you got to kind of talk about that as well.
Yeah, it's been kind of affecting a lot of players, especially with COVID, like where they're missing some time. It's a significant time. It kind of hurts them a little bit. But speaking of the injury issue, how's your quarterback doing?
So right now, the latest information that we've been given here, in terms of like fans wise, he didn't practice on Wednesday. Now I'm always gonna, kind of listen to what he said. And right after the Green Bay Packers game, he was obviously hurt. He was limping after the last few plays, but he said that he was fine. So I think he will be good to go personally. But he didn't practice on Wednesday, so it kind of seems like we might see a Colt McCoy versus Jimmy Garoppolo show, but I still have positivity that Kyler Murray will be up.
Okay, because I've been hearing 50-50 that he won't play, and then you got Colt McCoy. It's like, man, you guys are probably playing this little guessing game. I got a gut feeling that you might just play Murray anyway. So
that's exactly what I was thinking too. Honestly, I think the guessing game is kind of a situation that is kind of going to our favor at this point because you guys are wondering who's your quarterback, and obviously you might have a different game plan for each quarterback. So I think that's what we're purposely trying to do. But I still think it's Kyler Murray personally, but we do have Colt McCoy taking the first team reps today as well as Wednesday as well. So we'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was checking out Fred Warner's press conference. He's preparing Murray's going to play this week anyways, from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's my opinion on this whole situation. I think if Kyler Murray isn't 100%, like let's say he's at 85%, I do not want him to play. I would hope the coaching staff would save him and be smart enough to make sure that he's held out because 85% Kyler Murray is not what we need to win. We need 100% Kyler Murray. If it is 85% or anything, lower than 90, 95, I say sit him out, man. Let's see what we can do about resting him for that week and, come back during the next week because I don't want to risk a further bigger injury because that would suck. Obviously, that would be terrible for our entire season. So we'll see.
Yeah, like these sprained ankles are no joke, but especially I had a significant damage when I was playing the game of football before where I had a fractured distal fistal or something like that with a fractured ankle where it was hard to move your leg a little bit. But for Kyler Murray, he should be lucky to have a sprain and probably take it easy on it, I guess.
Yeah. I guess the thing that kind of works in our favor as well is that we did have a Thursday night football game. So we have a little bit longer than the 7 days that we usually have. So he's got about 10 days to see about resting it up. So even if he doesn't, let's say, for example, he does play. Yeah, I know, Colt McCoy's taking the first team reps, but bottom line is he most likely needs them a lot more than Kyler does. But I'm just excited to see who's going to be showing up this coming Sunday.
Yeah, I'm excited for this week too because I'm going to be in attendance at Levi Stadium for
That's
this week.
awesome.
Yeah, so okay, so let's get to the matchup. So what's concerning you this week since I'm looking at the film of you guys, it's
Mhm.
kind of been the run defense that's been hurting you
Yeah.
guys lately.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain point for our Arizona Cardinals. I think once we kind of came off that Thursday night football game, one of the most annoying things to watch from our defense was basically our run defense. Man, it's crazy because we kind of knew as fans and anybody else that was watching this game. They don't have Devontae Adams. They don't have Adam Lazard. What are they going to do? They're probably going to run the ball down our throat, and that's exactly what they did. So like I said a little earlier, you got to give kudos to the Green Bay Packers for coming out and executing their plan that they had against us because, hey, man, they were victorious. Although we almost came out, we could possibly won it, but hey, it didn't work out in our favor.
Okay, so yeah, especially when I've been watching it, like I'm like thinking, man, that's probably the best blueprint to beat you guys is running the ball effectively. The way how Elijah Mitchell's been playing football the last few weeks, he's been unstoppable. He's been like a good running back for us. What do you think of this matchup with Elijah Mitchell?
I mean, it's going to be good. I mean, honestly, I have no really I haven't seen Elijah Mitchell other than him playing the Arizona Cardinals. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of one of those things where it's like you hardly pay attention to any other team besides yours, unless you really want to dive into it. But Elijah Mitchell's been doing very very well this season so far. I know he stepped in when Raheem Mostert went out. That guy's been hurt a lot, so he might not be back next year. We'll see. But man, kudos to him. But honestly, I was thinking more Trey Sermon. If you guys use Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell both, I feel like that right there is your blueprint. But it's kind of hard to compare, Elijah Mitchell to Aaron Jones, and not to disrespect the guy, but you don't really see very much as of yet. But he could surprise us. You know what I mean? He can definitely surprise us.
Yeah, he could. But when I look at the running game too, both our run defense is not that good. So I got a good feeling that Chase Edmonds and then you got
Connor.
James Conner. Yeah, dude, those are going to be tough to stop. Last time we played you guys, those running backs were really killing it for a little bit,
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to who's going to be able to have their run game going. And, obviously you guys are the ones that, really stay true to it and are very, very good in it. So I'm definitely nervous. Obviously, whenever we play any of our division, it's always a dogfight, man. I thought we were going to put 30 points on you guys, but as you know, we only put 17 points. And that was probably a game that I was sweating. And I was like, man, but you guys are a really good team. Whenever we play each other, it's always tough.
It's always tough when it comes down to it. Like it even comes a lot closer to these games when you see Niners and Cardinals play. It's like a surprising that we actually just gave up 17 points on you guys and
Yeah.
still were. I don't know how this is going to fare this next game. I'm going to be in attendance for this game for sure. How are you doing, my guys? Everything's going good, guys. But so another question: How do you feel about the matchup with Deebo Samuel? Who's one of the cornerbacks that you need to? Is Murphy going to be the X factor because he didn't play that previous week matchup?
He most likely will be. Yeah, he definitely will be that X factor for the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, we also do have Robert Alford, which he was hurt like 2 years prior to this year. But he's actually surprised a lot of us, honestly. I think he's done a very good job, as well as rookie cornerback Marco Wilson. He's definitely came into his own. Obviously, he's still a rookie, so he gets beat every once in a while. But if we were to put one person on, your Deebo Samuels, I definitely would be putting Byron Murphy at. Yeah, definitely. That would be the smart thing to do. But who knows what this coaching staff's going to do.
Yeah, and then I know this matchup, you're not going to have to deal with Trey Lance in this matchup, so it's going to be more of a Jimmy Garoppolo. But my only concern is if your defense can get to Jimmy, which I think could determine the factor. But yeah. I'm not putting my hopes on Jimmy. Sure, he won against the Bears. All right, you want a cookie for this one? I guess we'll wait and see. We'll see how he does against Arizona. I want to see what he can do.
Well, here's the thing. Jimmy Garoppolo, I always felt like he did decent against us. So I'm definitely not going to say this is a cakewalk. In my personal opinion, I do think that if you guys have Trey Lance, it adds that extra, this quarterback can run sort of sense. So it kind of keeps us on our toes. So I think you guys do have a better option to win this game with Trey Lance personally, not running the ball, but I'm sorry, not throwing the ball. I apologize, but running the ball. Because if you run it with Elijah Mitchell, if you do get Trey Sermon involved, and also add the factor of adding another run game with your quarterback, I think that right there might kind of have that little pendulum swing over for you guys. But that's the thing, like you said, man. If our defense gets to Jimmy Garoppolo, we can see a different type of quarterback out there. And I think, I don't know, I don't trust him. I've never trusted that guy.
Well, he's actually had some good success against you guys.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
But I know that some of you guys are kind of like getting the fact we're on a slow start, and is Kittle playing? I'm looking at the injury report, and it looks like he could play this week. So that could be the X factor right there. Do you think that it is going to be tougher games since Jimmy G is playing? Because I'm not wrong. Don't quote me on this, but he is 6-3 versus us. Ooh, he could be the X factor if he plays like the way he's been playing against the Bears with the lesser mistakes. Then I can see this as a good game.
Yeah, I mean, but you know me, man. I'm definitely going to lean towards my Arizona Cardinals because of what we've done so far this year. If we were a different year, like let's say, for example, we were last year's team and we were losing to the teams that we should be beating, like, we lost against the Lions, we lost against, teams that on paper we should have beaten. I do feel like this Arizona Cardinals, this game, hopefully, is going to be a get-right game for us. And obviously, all the Arizona Cardinal fans want to look at it that way as well, but any given Sunday, Thursday, or Monday, as long as it's all about matchups, man. How's your team going to match up with my team? Who's going to have those one or two big, key turnovers or those big key stops? And I do have faith that our Arizona Cardinals team will be able to do it. I do think that obviously Jimmy Garoppolo has had success against the Arizona Cardinals, but we haven't been a very, very good team other than like 2 years prior, because obviously we went through the Josh Rosen thing and Steve Wilkes, and so I don't know. I just feel like our Arizona Cardinal team is going to pull it off.
Okay, it's reasonable. But looking at the matchups, all right, so we're talking like a complete different Arizona Cardinals team on this matchup. I mean, Jimmy's going to play a well better Arizona Cardinals team than the ones he played in the previous years. But when I look at the matchup, as far as like him and our defense do our job against this offense, because I mean, last time we held Kyler Murray in this offense to a season low. But I don't know if we're going to do it again, but we got to wait and see how that plays out, because it could just be one of those kind of games where you guys might come on fire and we might not even play our best game, or it might be the same results of what happened last time, or maybe this is the game where you guys fall in the trap or something. So
yeah,
one or the other.
Honestly, I think, like, I'm going to talk the same thing what I talked a little earlier here. Like, if Kyler Murray isn't 100%, put Colt McCoy in there. And because I feel like we'll see a different game plan. We will have a managing type of quarterback that's going to be able to throw to his weapons. And not only that, I honestly think that we'll heavily favor our running game. So we'll see a lot of James Conner. We'll see a lot of Chase Edmonds. And I fear if we do put Kyler Murray in there and he kind of gets a little, it gets a little sticky, we kind of go away from the running game, and that's kind of frustrating me. So if we do have Colt McCoy, that might work out to our favor this week.
Yeah, because he's like the unknown factor, because he's only played he's been known as a career backup, so that could be the tricky part. But then you got Jimmy G, who's actually had favorable games against the Cardinals.
True.
But as far as everybody else, when we look at the matchup between the Cardinals, the coaching staff wise, I mean, I feel like in this game, it's definitely going to have to determine our division, because if the Niners can actually pull off this win and go into the next game against the Rams with confidence, this can really turn the season around just like that. Even though we're having a slow start, so I'm not putting my hopes up, but this game can determine our fate of the season.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely 100% right, man. I mean, obviously the Arizona Cardinals, if we do lose this game, we can just say to each other, hey, Kyler Murray isn't healthy, but you're right, man. There's a lot of momentum that goes over your way. It's crazy to say that I'm thinking like we're going to sweep you guys, because I never want to say that, never want to jinx myself. Anytime we play a division, Rams, Seahawks, it's hard to sweep them for that year. So, and I know we beat you guys the first time. It would make sense that you guys beat us this next time, but I don't know. I'm going to hold true to my Cardinals, and hopefully we can get the 2-0 on you guys this year.
Well, if we can do what we did, but the only problem is,
True.
can we actually do good in the first half? Can we actually get some points in the first half? And then second half, we seem like we make good adjustments, but I feel like the first half offense isn't. It seems like you have one drive and then it's shut down, and then you got to wait till the second half to get the offense together or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's the Cardinals and what we've been seeing here as fans as well, and that's kind of one of the things that's very frustrating to see. But hopefully, I mean, this game could come out any which way, and I think that's kind of the most intriguing part of it. You're right; you might be able to see, your team turn this around and go on a run, because we all know Russell Wilson might come back on, the not this coming week, but the week after, and you guys might have to, fight them for that last wild card spot.
Yeah, that could be the tough one. So, so looking at the Cardinals, so looking at the most interesting matchup between the Cardinals is I gotta say Kittle versus your linebacker will be intriguing. Or whoever's covering them. I think it's Simmons?
Yeah, it'd probably be Simmons. Yeah, I know we've had Buda Baker doing his best, and I think we've seen some exciting matchups between the two, in the past recent years. But I do think this time around is going to be Isaiah Simmons more than anything.
Yeah, so then I guess Cardinals looking like that. We thought they were inconsistent down the. I don't know. It depends on how they start. Last year, to be fair, you guys were on a good start, and then you guys fell off. But I don't know. This is kind of a different team I've seen this year.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely respect to the people that's in the chat here. I mean, I know like when somebody comes into your guys' channel and say we're gonna sweep you, it's not something to disrespect or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like we're a different team this time around. And you guys are hitting your stride, and kudos to what you guys are doing over there. But can you guys really tell me that Kyle Shanahan is the future, or Jimmy G is the future at this point into the season? I mean, that's my question to you.
The future. I don't know about Jimmy G. He's good as gone either by next year. Kyle Shanahan, I think he's got at least a couple years to prove himself. I mean, I can see it that way, but I think it's going to have to go on Trey Lance for the future. But for Jimmy G, this is his last time to prove something before we trade him next year or something.
Yeah. What about Kyle? You say Kyle Shanahan has about maybe 2 more years after this one, or 1 more year after this one?
No, he's got maybe about 2 years to prove himself, but he's still he's on a 6-year contract. So
that's right. You're right.
So I would think, to be fair, maybe give him a couple more years to build it around, or they're going to put him on the hot seat. So that's the way I would. Yeah, and then there are cracks on the Cardinals' armor. Well, to talk about the weakness of the Cardinals, I do see a lot of their weakness. It starts on the run defense.
Yeah.
As soon as you start establishing it and keep on going with it, it's going to work. But I feel like if we use 2 running backs, why not use Sherman on certain plays? And then you definitely want to have Elijah Mitchell for sure to play all the plays, but you want to mix it up with somebody like Trey Sermon. But Jermichael Hasty, maybe he might do something, because he's a different kind of back too. I see how this guy is a physical run back. He's not like fast, but he plays fast. Like, he's very physical. Like, he's built kind of like a Marshawn Lynch type back, but just a different kind of breed of back,
Right. No, definitely. And I do think that that's going to be your best plan of attack. Like, legit use 2 running backs and, play action here and there, as well as, do your little trick plays, jet sweeps to Debo. Obviously get Debo involved whenever you need to do it. But the thing is, when I look at the blueprint, obviously, everybody saw Thursday Night Football, and obviously if you're not a Cardinal fan, people are like, oh, here we go, here's the cracks. And it's common because people see one game and they think that they know a team. And I think that's kind of funny when it comes down to the NFL, but I mean, that's just kind of what we live in. But if you're looking at the quarterbacks, yes, the blueprint is out, but you really got to make those throws as well. And Aaron Rodgers is far superior over Jimmy G. So what you guys need to depend on is your running backs. And that's why I said Trey Lance might be that X factor if you did choose to come in, because I have more faith in Trey Lance's running game as opposed to his throwing game than Jimmy G's throwing game. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because Jimmy can be a little off at times. But as far as, like you said, it just has to go with the running game. If we can just keep on establishing it, I'm pretty sure the way we're designing plays, I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of big plays out of Elijah Mitchell. Yeah. And then maybe we mix it up with Hasty here and there. But I feel like for you guys to beat us, I'm pretty sure you guys have to keep on doing what you guys doing. Throw those deep passes upfield, and maybe you'll get some penalty yards out of it, because that's just the way our secondary is. It's been kind of like the most penalized this season. Especially you guys could like torch on Josh Norman and get some free yards out of it, you know?
True. Yeah, true. I think one of the things that a lot of us need to focus on is DeAndre Hopkins 100% as well, because when we saw DeAndre Hopkins on Thursday Night Football, he didn't play a good amount of that game. He was actually held out, and I think when he came into the game, he probably shouldn't have. Honestly, I think he had a tweak with his hamstring. So is he 100%? I'm not really going to listen to injury reports when it comes down to the week because DeAndre Hopkins never practices. So I'm not going to really hold that too much. But he was obviously hurt because he was held out a good amount of that Green Bay Packers game. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, even if Hopkins even if he doesn't play, I still think you guys are going to still spread the ball with other receivers. You got a lot of like good study receivers. I mean, you can future Kirk, you can future Moore. I mean, you got AJ Green still. I mean, the receiver depth is pretty strong. So even because I mean, some of the Cardinal fans would even say that having Hopkins was like a super decoy now. So it's like anybody could be open. So it's more of the opportunities for everybody else to step up. So I feel like the X factor would have to be Rondé Moore for this one if Hopkins doesn't play, because he's going to have to be the guy with the big plays.
Well, here's the thing, man. I'm not sure if you knew, but AJ Green got COVID. He tested positive. So I don't think we're going to have AJ Green this game.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's going to lead, hey, is DeAndre Hopkins healthy? If he's not healthy, I don't feel confident in 100% putting it on Kirk and Rondale Moore and maybe other of the unestablished wide receivers that we have. So, I mean, it kind of just really depends, but I don't think AJ Green's going to play this game because of, him getting COVID or testing positive.
Oh, man, so... Okay, I didn't know about that part about AJ Green being placed on COVID. So does that mean he's going to miss time against the Niners this week?
Since he tested positive yesterday, which was on Wednesday, I know that they said that he needs to do like back-to-back 24 hours of like testing negative. But the situation is that it's kind of like the whole Devontae Adams thing, in my personal opinion, where we're playing at your guys' house. It's not here at home. They're gonna our team's gonna leave on Saturday. You know what I mean? So he doesn't have a lot of time. So in my personal opinion, I don't think AJ Green's gonna play.
So he's pretty much ruled out, and then a chance of DeAndre Hopkins. So if Hopkins and Green is out, it leaves your receivers with just two other guys, and then you got. Okay, so speaking of those receivers, who are the other ones behind those other two guys you got?
We got some guy named I forgot his name. I think it's Winslow, or I forgot what his name is. He's like a 6'3" guy. We hardly see him. That might be it. Oh, Andy Isabella. I forgot Andy Isabella. We didn't end up trading him. We have Andy Isabella too, which, he's had a little bit of flashes here and there, but man, he's been an absolute disappointment of a second-round pick. And it sucks too, because I don't think it's 100% his fault. I think it's 90% his fault, because he doesn't really get the chances, but when he did get the chances, he really didn't shine as much as a lot of people thought he was going to be in the NFL. But it's Andy Isabella, and there's another guy that's 6'3", but I forgot his name though. Okay,
so maybe you just might have to put in Isabella out there. I mean, that might be the decoy, because last time we played against this kid had a big play touchdown against us. So
that's what I was saying. Yeah, that was pretty entertaining to see, but we'll see, man.
So the fact that he hasn't played much of a snap, but his best career game happened to be that one big play against my team, man. Oh, bummer, man. So looking at the matchup, so the potential of you guys, our secondary would pretty much have to fare against guys like Kirk and Moore and possibly not Hopkins. That's going to be a kind of a favorable matchup. But then looking at your tight end, Zach Ertz. I know that this is a good move, and I feel like this could be a mismatch for our linebackers. How do you feel about Zach Ertz?
Oh, I like Zach Ertz, man. I think what he's done so far within this organization is actually pretty good. I think he's gonna. I don't think that we've used him quite to 100% of his potential either. So once he gets established more within our offense, I think he's gonna be a lot better. But as of right now, I think he's got one touchdown with us, and he's got more than 50, 75 plus yards or something like that. But yeah, he could definitely be another X factor. So yeah, maybe we might be down, the wide receivers, but now that we have a playmaker on our tight end core, hey man, let's go. I'm down.
Okay, so all right, so let's get to those couple questions for the X factor. Who do you expect the Cardinals? Which player needs to step up for the Cardinals for you guys to win this week?
Honestly, who I think needs to step up is the running game. And that's with Kyler Murray or without Kyler Murray. I think this game is going to come down to who's going to be able to run this ball and make sure that time of possession is, in their favor, because that's kind of what we saw with the Green Bay Packers game. And if we want to flip the narrative, that's what we're going to have to do. Because like you said, the blueprint's out there, but obviously you need the pieces to execute this blueprint. But when it comes down to it, I think the run game.
So the run game, run defense needs to step up for both. So Cardinals have probably the worst run defense. I think they're third worst, right?
They're bad. I'm not quite sure. I don't know, like in terms of stat wise, but yeah, that Green Bay Packers game really didn't help us a lot.
Well, you're in for Elijah Mitchell. That one's going to be a really tough matchup. You guys have to figure out ways to contain. And then the fact that George Kittle's coming back, that's going to open up the run block a little bit better. And plus, even though he may still be a factor as a receiver, but the fact that he blocks kind of opens up the running game a lot.
Very true. Very true.
So, okay, let's get to the. Okay, so for me, the one matchup I expect us to have to step up this week is I think our running game just has to step up against Arizona, because the fact that if we can run the ball with the time of possession, I feel like the chances of us beating Arizona is going to be a lot tougher, but it's going to be favorable. I like that some of your guys are a little bit cocky, but hey, we got to wait and see. But I don't see no blowout. This is going to be a very close game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know, like when we had our roundtable, I said 35-24. Honestly, I do think it's going to be a lot closer. I think maybe 24-21. I think it could come down to a 7 or 3 point difference. Mm-hmm. One of the two, because you guys won by 7 points, but that was because we played with lesser of our guys, and you can only play with just your other corner out. But other than that, it was a very close game. True.
But the fact that we lost to the Packers with all their talents is a little different. At least we lost by 2, but you lost with their practice squad receivers.
Oh, here we go.
That's all good, bro. But so we can get to the final prediction of it. So for my prediction, I did say we'll come away with 3 points. So I feel like this is a game where you guys are probably going to be a little wounded, but I feel like you guys are still going to give us a good fight. But I think it's going to come to like 24-27, I think. I think it can go 50-50 the way I look at it. But I feel like both our run defense has to step up to make that. And lesser turnovers has to be the factor too. So 100%. I know your prediction was Cardinals to win the game, but as far as everybody else, and for this guy right here, Bass Strangler, maybe you might need to take the broom down. Maybe you might need to take that broom down. I think you might need to just take the split for today.
Sweet.
hey, but I don't see it as a curb stop. Okay, I know that's the catchphrase, you know.
Right.
No, that's just the word phrase of saying we're going to stomp on people and make a name. But it's going to be a close game. So, anybody else got any more questions before me and AZ end the stream? But so let's end. Oh, okay. I guess this guy was explaining this guy's name
there
right
here.
There you
go, Antoine Wesley. There you go. That's his name, Wesley. Appreciate you.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So run defense does need to step up for both teams, actually. So both teams have a weakness. I think we're ranked like 23rd or I think 20 something. I think we're ranked 20 and you guys are ranked 29.
Sheesh.
If I'm looking at the stats, like. Prove me wrong, but I think that's what the statistic says on the run defense for the Cardinals. It's ranked 29 or something.
Yeah, you might be right, man, because our run defense has always been something that we've been yelling at the top of our lungs for. But I'm just surprised we hadn't do anything in the trade deadline.
Yeah, and then J.J. Watt being out kind of, I don't know. He's out for the season.
Yeah, so the coaching staff is refusing to say out for the season, like whenever they're on there. Like he could very well be out for the season, but like I think he's getting a couple more like opinions, so he might very well maybe come back. A slight chance, 5%, 2% chance. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. It's a tough one, but he's a warrior. Well, to answer the chosen one, we're kind of like more of a run team, but I think we're kind of passing in between. But I think most of our offense is mostly running the ball. So that would. All right, man. So I know you got to do something after this, man. But appreciate you on the show. Ari, like Tuesday, I'll see you there. We'll see who the better team is. I know one of us has to do a 1-minute video. So good luck.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Have a great day.
All right, you too, bro. All right, guys. Appreciate it. AZ had to go, but hey, it's a good stream overall. We'll see. See y'all later. CG Ruthless Sports is out, and you already know. Go Niners.